Hi, I'm Lisa K. Donner, along with Graham Noble, Sarah Cowgill, Scott Cosenza, and David Patterson. And this is the Conservative Five, Liberty Nation's online TV news program. Well, you all probably know that Liberty Nation has added a much-needed feature, cartoonist Tom Stiglitz, who keeps our readers amused on a daily basis. Surprise! He's here for our roasting and grilling pleasure, though I'm not sure he knows that yet. But first, our Liberty Nation satirist, Graham Noble. It's interesting that our chief political correspondent is also our resident satirist. What does that mean? Anyway, Graham Noble is going to explain the rise and fall of the political cartoon. Graham, 90 seconds. Hit it, baby.
Well, I'm not an expert cartoon historian, but I have some thoughts on the state of political humor. Henry Ward Beecher, an 1800s American clergyman, said, "A person without a sense of humor is like a wagon without springs. It's jolted by every pebble on the road."
Ah.
The people Beecher was talking about are nowadays referred to as snowflakes, and they are, for the most part, left-wingers. But it's a chicken and egg situation. Do leftists lack a sense of humor because they are bitter and angry, or are they always that miserable because they lack a sense of humor? Is this the same chicken that crossed the road? We don't know. But anyway, there's a cartoon that I came across that's called The Modern World, and it's an entirely political cartoon done by a left-winger. It's done as a storyboard, so it has like about 6 panes, and there is absolutely no humor in this cartoon strip at all. It's basically an angry rant against Donald Trump more often than not, or Fox News. And this is what comprises political humor on the left these days, just saying nasty things about their political opponents. They're trying to ridicule, but they don't get the subtle difference between ridicule and insult. The former is humorous, the latter is not. Satire mystifies them all together, which is why they constantly fact-check the Babylon Bee, which ironically makes them an easy target for ridicule. But the left is afflicted by its own ideology. Conservatives believe that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is really all that matters. Left-wing political thought is rooted in constant conflict and struggle. Poor against the rich, oppressed against the oppressor, men who think they're women against the people who refuse to support that delusion, and so on. But ultimately, I applaud left-wingers for abandoning the concept of humor and mentally preparing themselves for the utterly miserable world they are trying to create. Now, as Lisa mentioned, we've got with us today Tom Stiglitz, a cartoonist whose work is now featured on Liberty Nation under the section Liberty Lampoon. So, Tom, on behalf of the panel, welcome. And what I'd like to hear is, what is your take on the state of humor these days in America, political humor particularly?
Well, Graham, I have to agree with you. It does feel like half the country has lost its sense of humor, just based on some of the hate mail that I get on a daily basis. If you have a second, I print out a few of my most recent. If you want, I can read these to you. I'm sure you guys will get a kick out of them if you just got a second. I could just in the last couple of weeks. Your last cartoon is about as funny as a painful pocket of gas in my colon. You dine in Trump's colon. Strange back-to-back colon references. Stop making your unfunny and despicable cartoons. You, like all right-wing fascists, have to be silenced. And that's the part.
Wow.
It's the fact that they don't accept that there's a different point of view. They actually want to silence you, and that's the part that's no longer funny, and that should be concerning to everyone involved, really.
Tom, how do you keep your sense of humor about you and manage to, when you're getting, ugly things like that in the mail or on tweets or whatever, and still have to kind of come up with a funny cartoon in a day? What goes into your creating an actual cartoon?
When I start off each day, I usually spend anywhere from probably 2 to 4 hours reading numerous publications. I still read
Liberty Nation first, of course.
Liberty Nation first and foremost. That's how I start the day. And you guys have great content. I mean, I'm just proud to be part of the team. I really am. I think it's a good fit. You just go in there and you even try to read opinions from both sides. You try to see, you try to feed through and weed through the mainstream media bias, that leans so far left. And it's really something that's probably happened in the last 10, 15 years. And then you just start your day and say, okay, what's the big topic? What do I want to tackle? What do I want to draw attention to?
Questions, panel, go.
I got one. In this climate, Tom,
Yes.
who inspires inspires you the most? I mean, we've got a bunch of weirdos out there running around playing like they're running the country or playing like they want to run the country. So, who trips your trigger the most?
Well, it's, no matter who's in office, you need to draw attention to him. I was not the biggest Trump supporter when he was first elected, but you tend to look past the man and you look at his policies and you see that the country was doing much better, during the 4 years that Trump was president. And if you can go back to even some of my early work, I absolutely was not, at first I said, is he serious? Because there's always been rumors that he's going to run. But you have to look at the policies. And I do the same thing with currently with Joe Biden. And I feel that this is nothing more than a career politician that's in office. That he's run before. He's plagiarized. He's just he hurts the country. So really, whoever holds the seat, has the power, has the target on him.
Yeah, what I was really interested in, and you kind of brought it up, is what prompted you to, in your satirical cartoons, to target proctologists? I mean, what was it about them that you found humorous? I mean, outside of the obvious.
It's amazing. It's funny. Two more hate mail. This is a little bit older, but I mean, even going back to it, says, I hope your dog gets hit by a bus. Okay. I'm not a problem. I don't even have a dog. I hope you get COVID and die. I mean, some of the hate mail that you do receive, it's just part of, I'm sure you guys see it on your end with some of the stories that you write. I mean, there's a lot of crazy people out there.
Yeah, we like to talk a lot about the next presidential election as a political site. And I'm assuming that Donald Trump would be the best candidate for the purpose of creating content for the cartoon. What I'd like to know is on the Democrat side, if you had to pick one candidate who you think, this person's really going to provide the most content for cartoons going forward for a few years, which of those candidates?
Well, he holds office right now, Scott. So I've got down. He gives me plenty of material on a daily basis, really. And it's the sad part for the Democratic Party is their backup, Kamala Harris, provides even more fodder, really. So, and then what Gavin Newsom, just bring it on.
Let me ask you a question. When you were a child, were you like doodling while everybody else was, looking at the periodic table of chart?
It's funny you ask that, Lisa. I cannot remember not having a pencil in my hand. I mean, I've drawn since the time I was probably 4 or 5 years old. My mother and my sister were both very artistic. And everybody who grew up in probably when I really started getting into comics, everybody wanted to, next cartoonist wanted to be the next Gary Larson. And then you start finding yourself getting more and more involved politically and you want to make a difference. And then you see, wow, the great thing about an editorial cartoon, it's on the opinion page and you're all by yourself. So next thing you know, you start saying, I think there's a future here. And I've actually, I've been nationally syndicated for 10 years now. And I just really thoroughly enjoy what I do.
Well, your comics are just amazing. I mean, your cartoons every day are getting hit more and more on our site. And you started right out of the box with a bang. We're really proud to have you, Tom.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Well, as for our audience, now you know a little more about how and why we need political humor. And we're so glad that Tom joined us today. Thanks for watching. If you haven't yet, go to Liberty Lampoon at libertynation.com for a good laugh.
Thank you.
That's it for our Conservative 5 panel today. Check out our other C5 shows and segments on your favorite video platform. YouTube, Vimeo, Rumble, we're on them all. As well, Liberty Nation has its own Roku channel where you can see all of our TV productions. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, surf on over to libertynation.com. I'm Lisa K. Donner, Editor-in-Chief. Thanks for joining us today. This has been a production of libertynation.com, where truth matters.